Happy Friday. I wanted to jump on here and number one, say happy Friday. And my buttons all over the place. I wanted to share some fitness tips as we are technically still in the first week of the new month. I am celebrating 6 years of my journey with Herbalife, so I thought what better way to reintroduce myself and also provide some amazing tips for you guys. Maybe you are starting your brand new journey, especially when it comes to weight loss. Trying to incorporate a fitness routine is sometimes a struggle. So I wanted to offer some tips, some of the things that I learned in my own journey, and the things that really have helped me create and make it a lifestyle. So first and foremost, I want to reintroduce myself. So I actually started my journey 9 years ago. The last 6 years have been with Herbalife, and I will tell you that the last 6 years have really truly been the most impactful years of my journey. I really learned how to eat for my body, for my goals, and how to really create something that can be sustainable and eventually a lifestyle. And that's really what my goal as a coach is, and why I decided to become a coach, because I really wanted to teach other people that there is a sustainable way of living a healthy life while still having that balance and creating that for yourself, figuring out what that is. And there isn't a need for happy Friday for having to go through that struggle, right? And so when I started my journey, I was in a place in my journey where I was at a plateau. Like I said, I tried so many different things to lose weight, doing that whole online research and things like that. But what I found was that a lot of this information isn't really helpful. It almost keeps you in a diet cycle, which that's not what I wanted for myself. That's not the kind of lifestyle that I wanted to create. I wanted to be able to get results and keep those results. So when I found Herbalife, it was the perfect timing in my journey, because I really learned how to conquer emotional eating. I learned how to eat for my body, and most importantly, I learned how to have a healthy relationship with food. Most of us that struggle with weight loss, this is the number one thing that is the hardest to overcome, is the emotional eating and going to food when we're going through something, right? So when I was introduced to this nutrition, that's really where I was. I was struggling to find something that I could sustain, that wasn't going to keep me on that yo-yo diet cycle. So I tried the product for the first time. I was actually introduced by one of my good friends. I was invited to what we then had a gym called Train Station. And the first thing that I noticed was the amazing community, the support of the community. For me, having been on my journey 3.5 years prior to finding this community, I really lacked that support. I really lacked that community aspect of what building a healthy lifestyle was. So when I was introduced to this community, and I met other people that were trying to get healthy and doing this whole, healthy lifestyle and fitness thing, I was really amazed at the fact that there were other people like me just trying to make better habits and how to build a healthy lifestyle. So I was really attracted to the community, and then I tried the product. I had my first cookies and cream shake, and it was just amazing. Prior to that, I had never tried incorporating protein shakes into my meal plan, which what I found was I was under eating, I was overworking out, and I wasn't giving my body enough fuel to really transform. And I wanted to share that, because a lot of times, I used to think, well, at the time when I was at my plateau, I didn't realize what was missing. It really was the nutrition aspect. I was at the gym working out like 2 hours a day, but I was really under eating because I was focused on calories. And calories are a great idea overall to think about, like what your body requires. However, when you're focusing on calories, you're not focusing on the actual nutrients that are in the foods that you're eating. So you can be in a calorie deficit, but if you're not eating enough protein and enough carbs, your body's not going to change. You're not necessarily fueling your body for optimum function, right? Or for transformation if you're on a weight loss journey, right? So that's one of the things that I really learned in this journey. And more importantly, I realized, how important having enough protein in my daily diet how I was lacking that. So when I started to incorporate the shakes, that's when I saw instant energy boost, instant results in my transformation. Within the first 3 weeks, I already started dropping excess pounds. And when I was in that beginning phase of my journey with Herbalife, I was in my head, I was like, well, I've already been in a plateau for two years. I don't think my body can lose any more weight, so I'm just going to focus on building muscle. But what I learned was I wasn't eating enough to continue to transform my body. Understand that your body gets used to, however you're eating, your body gets used to that. So if you are eating, I'll give you an example. I used to focus on just eating 1,200 calories a day, right? And that was fine when I was first starting to kind of get into healthy habits, but it's not sustainable. That is not sustainable, because as your body changes, as your body's growing muscle, your body requires more energy, different energy. So I was definitely under eating. And so when I started to have the shakes, I noticed the difference right away. And so, today I've been able to lose 115 pounds. I've been able to use my same program for weight loss, for fat loss, for building muscle, building curves, a healthy and active pregnancy, and a healthy postpartum journey. And the most amazing thing is that I've created a sustainable lifestyle, and I get to share that with other people. I get to literally tell other people what I'm doing and show them what I'm doing and help them get incredible results for themselves. So that was one of the reasons that I decided to be a coach, because I was a person who struggled with losing weight for so many years, that when I found this, I was like, oh my gosh, like everybody needs to know about this, because it's as easy as 2 shakes a day, 2 protein-based meals a day, 2 protein snacks a day, water all throughout your day, and it's as easy as following a program like that, versus before I was like trying all these things that were not giving me the results for the longevity, right? So I was really excited, and as I was sharing my story online, I was sharing my story through social media, through Instagram specifically, and from the beginning, 9 years ago, from the beginning, I was sharing my journey. So people that have been watching me for this entire time can go back to, all of you guys can go back to my Instagram, like when I first started, and how I can go back and see like how I was eating then versus how I'm eating now, and I'm eating to sustain my body. And that's what's most important. That's really what I'm trying to teach people, is that you don't have to cut out all these things if you want to get results, especially if you want to get results and you want to keep those results. It's so important. Thank you. It's so important that you continue to learn what your body requires, as far as like trying to continue to transform, right? And especially if you are brand new, like that is my excitement for sharing all the time, is like there's so many people trying to get all this information, and there's just so much misinformation online. You're getting information from like influencers, and not to knock that, but I feel like I personally am motivated when I see my clients getting results and doing the deal, right? So it's so important that as we are building this lifestyle, that we take into account what our body needs specifically for our body. Like I said at the beginning, I read somewhere that it was like, thank you. I read somewhere that it was like 1,200 calories. So that's what I had in my head. But what I realized now, as I'm a coach and I've gone through my own journey, and I'm still going through my own journey, is like physical body requires different amounts of proteins and carbs. Essentially, we when building like a meal guide for a client, it's essentially the same structure. We're eating every 2 hours, protein-based snacks, hydrating with water. But everybody's body, depending on where you are in the physical at the moment, and depending on where you want to go, is going to determine how much you have to eat. So just keep that in mind as you're watching people online and you're thinking like, I'm going to try this diet, right? I'm going to try this diet. It's very important that you keep in mind that your body is your body, and this is your journey alone, okay? So I just wanted to share that. So down 115 pounds, feeling amazing. I'm about a year and 4 months postpartum. I'm back in my pre-baby clothes, but more importantly, my mental health is 100, and it has everything to do with how I'm feeling my body. The people that are around me, the community, it's really exciting, and I love that I get to help other people learn what this can be for them, right? And helping them get results. So I wanted to talk about, as it's Friday, Fitness Friday, I wanted to share a few tips. So when I started my journey, one of the things that I, was researching was like how to incorporate a fitness routine. And a lot of times it can be overwhelming. A lot of times we don't know how to even get started. But I want you to keep in mind, number one, that once you start to incorporate exercise does not take place of nutrition. If you want to change your body, nutrition always has to be number one. It doesn't matter. Learn from my struggle that I was doing 2 hours in the gym and my body wasn't changing, or it'll change, but it's only to a certain extent that it's going to change. Okay, so always keep in mind that your nutrition has to be number one if you want to change your body. Okay, so keeping that in mind, I started to kind of like, okay, what do I want to do? So when I started with walking, I started with hiking. One of the things that I wish that I would have known at the beginning was to not focus so much on cardio. Being that I was a person that was trying to lose a lot of weight, cardio is great. Cardio is a great start, but if you really want to drop weight maybe a little bit faster, but also form your body as you're losing weight, because one of the biggest concerns is people will say like, oh well, I'm just starting, so I'm going to start with cardio. You don't necessarily need to just focus on cardio, and I recommend that you don't just focus on cardio, because when you overdo cardio, and this is most people's problem, but that was my problem, I was overdoing cardio, and so I was actually burning any muscle that I had gained. So although I was dropping weight, I wasn't putting on the muscle that I really wanted. And I was doing over cardio. I wasn't sustaining the muscle because I wasn't eating enough and I wasn't eating the right things. Okay, so all of these things come together. So when it comes to building a fitness routine, don't be afraid to do weights. Don't be afraid to do any kind of resistance training if you're someone who is looking to lose more than 20 pounds, right? And it's so important that as you are developing your workout routine, your fitness routine, that you understand not only is building muscle amazing, obviously, for the physique and how you look, that's just an extra. The importance of why you need to build muscle starting now. So building muscle actually helps your overall health and your overall well-being. When you have more muscle on your body as we age, it's actually going to help you prevent serious illnesses and diseases. So that's why it's important that you incorporate some kind of strength training in your routine right now as you're getting started, and not be afraid of doing that. So it doesn't matter, you don't need to necessarily be lifting weights. Your body weight is enough to help you build muscle, right? The dumbbells and going to the gym is just extra. But if you have a body, then you have literally a full gym in your house right now. You can use your full body weight to do upper body, lower body, core training, all of that. So my biggest tip for you right now is, if you're starting your journey, is to start incorporating some kind of strength training. So what you can do, like I said, you can do a full body workout with your body weight. I actually have a couple videos on my YouTube. If you're interested, I can send them to you, on doing full body workouts with just your body weight, and what the benefits are of that, guys. Because as we age, we are losing muscle mass, and the more muscle mass you lose, the more likely it also directly affects your immune system. So you're more likely to get sick when you're getting older and you have less muscle mass. So that's why it's really important that you start to build up that muscle mass right now. You don't have to be extreme, you just have to be consistent in what you're doing. So starting with with body weight, doing exercises just using your full body weight. We do a workout at RCC, which is perfect for that, because it's literally just your body. We don't use equipment, and that's going to help you build that muscle mass. And when you're building muscle mass, you burn more fat, you burn more calories, which allows you to lose inches, drop weight, cinch that waist, all of that. So very important. Like, building muscle is very important. So another thing is, when you are starting at the gym, I remember my first time going to the gym, how intimidating that was, and I didn't know what to do. And I even remember a situation where I went to the gym. I actually went I'm trying to think who I went with. Well, I just felt super uncomfortable and super embarrassed because I remember I had never used equipment at the gym. It was like one of my first times, and I remember, I was with my dad, I think. No, I was with my husband. He was my boyfriend at the time. But I remember I had never used like gym equipment, so I was trying to figure it out. And I remember there was these two girls on another machine, and they were watching me, and I was overweight and I didn't know what I was doing. So I noticed that they were kind of like making fun of me. And so I personally, anytime that I've ever been at the gym and I see someone struggling, or they're trying to figure out, I make sure to go over there and kind of guide them in, hey, were you trying to do this? Because I remember how that felt, to not know what I was doing, to like try to figure it out and almost feel like everybody's looking at you because you don't know what you're doing. So my best advice for you, if you are going to be starting to go to the gym, is to start with my favorite is like the resistance cable machines, because these machines, all of the machines will tell you how to use them. I feel like these are the best ones because it's a fluid movement when you're using cable machines. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but it's like a standalone and you can add weight to it. And all it is, it's resistance. And it's the weight resisting against your own body weight, but it's on cables. Because it's on cables, the movements are more fluid, right? So you're doing, say like this one where you pull it down. The movements are more fluid versus you having to use dumbbells and figuring all that and building your strength up to it. So if you are a starter in the gym, I definitely recommend that you go to the resistance machines, the cable machines. And you can literally do a full body session just on the resistance cable machines, which are my absolute favorite. So just wanted to share that because I know as we're, starting this journey, like me, I didn't know what to do. I was just doing cardio, but I was burning muscle and, all of those things I learned through experience, but I want to share that with you so that you don't make the same mistakes that I do, especially if you're someone who wants to lose weight, but you want to also form your firmness in your skin as you are dropping weight. One of the things that I always get asked, because I've lost so much weight and people have seen my midsection and my body, and it's always like, how did you not get that saggy skin when you lost all that weight? Well, number one is nutrition. Nutrition is number one, and incorporating strength training is number two. Nutrition is number one. Okay, always remember that. Eating enough protein is what literally holds our skin together and forms our skin. So if you are under eating protein, that's where you may notice. And if you're not doing any kind of strength training, that is where you will notice that as you're dropping weight, your skin elasticity is dissipating, right? So we see this a lot when people have like weight loss surgery, right? The weight loss is too intense or too fast for the body to react to the changes, and that's where we see the loose skin. So I encourage you, if you really want to lose weight, if you're like me who wanted to lose a lot of weight, and even honestly, I wasn't even trying to lose all that weight. It just kind of happened because I was doing the deal and being consistent and just excited about my journey. You gotta focus on the nutrition, number one, right? So what else? I wanted to share with you guys. I kind of try to write this down because I get caught up in my own words. So I shared with you the benefits of exercising, right? It's not just about the physical. It's about what it's going to do for you long term as far as your health, right? As we're aging, that muscle mass is disappearing, and that is what's keeping us healthy. That's what keeps our body together, right? So very important that you are eating enough to build that muscle, and that you're building that muscle even if it's from home. There really is no excuses, guys. So we actually have within our community, we have these amazing VIP workouts where they're all on Zoom, and literally the majority of the exercises are using just full body. And these VIPs that are on consistently on these workouts, their transformations are freaking amazing. Like literally in the last year of doing Zoom workouts, their bodies have just like completely transformed. Like like everything is like you know, muscle popping, dropping those pounds and those inches. And like I said, number one, it's nutrition. Number two, it's getting their body moving. So you cannot outwork a bad diet. Okay, you cannot outwork a bad diet. As much as we want to believe that we can eat really crappy all weekend and then, oh, but I went to the gym an hour. That's not gonna get you healthy. That's not healthy. That's technically binge eating, which is a really bad habit. It's just as bad as, like, you know, I don't even want to say it, but it's really bad for your body. It's really bad for your metabolism, and it's not sustainable. And I say that because that's what my cycle used to be. I used to think, well, I can eat really healthy Monday through Friday, and then I'm gonna drink Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I worked out, so it's cool. And no, your body it'll start to take a toll on your body. So I've really, through my journey, guys, I've really had to reverse a lot of damage that I put my body through in like literally the majority of my 20s. But I am here before you today to tell you that it's absolutely possible, but you just have to focus on the nutrition. You have to take it one day at a time. You have to have patience with yourself and embrace the journey. You didn't gain, I would tell myself all the time, you didn't gain 20 pounds overnight. You're not going to lose it overnight. You have to have that patience of knowing that just you got to trust the journey. You got to trust the process, you know, and it is a journey, but it's absolutely the most amazing journey that I've ever been on, because now, being a new mom, I understand how important it was for me to go through that so that I can now have the healthy habits that I can pass down to my daughter. And knowing that how I took care of myself before I even got pregnant determine the kind of pregnancy I have, determines the kind of postpartum journey that I have, and also determines what she inherited in her DNA. So it's super important that we continue to try our best to take care of ourselves and live a healthy life, because our children are watching. Our children inherit our habits, and they inherit essentially our DNA, and all of the diseases that run in your family and are also apparent in your own health are already encrypted in the DNA of your kids. So they are more likely or more susceptible to whatever that is, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, all of that. But nutrition can absolutely be the outcome, can be the determining outcome of what happens. So it's very important that we set that example for them and that we take care of ourselves, okay? So overall, guys, I just wanted to share that, because as we're starting a new month, maybe you have new goals, maybe you're deciding that you want to get healthy and you don't really know how. And I just hope that I can continue to provide value to you guys to kind of help guide you on this and to help you see that it's not as hard as it may seem. You just have to get started. That literally is, you just have to get started and magical things can happen. So thank you for listening in. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday, and that I hope that this maybe encourages you. If you were looking for that extra little boost, I hope this encourages you to start making healthier choices and to, start living a healthier lifestyle. And it's all about you. It's all about, creating a better quality of life for yourself. And to just feel your absolute best, living your best healthy life. So happy Friday, guys. Have a wonderful, there's flies out here. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll talk to you guys later.